JD Sports just opened a new shopping platform called ReJD, a place for consumers to shop pre-owned shoes at huge discounts. According to the always in my weekly rotation and sneaker news,
Oh, yes. Sneaker
sneaker
news.
news, yes, sneaker
Hmm.
news. ReJD is one of the few aftermarket platforms owned by a retailer as opposed to a sneaker brand. As a result, its selection is far more broad and isn't positioned as a hot destination for hyped up shoes, but rather under the radar styles as well as performance and casual footwear like sandals and slides. Every pair of shoes gets inspected, cleaned, and repaired as needed, then assigned a condition grade so buyers know exactly what to expect. And as our resident resale maven, what do you think of
Yes.
JD Sports' new JD concept?
I love the fact that JD is doing this from like an umbrella sporting goods brand or house perspective because one, the best part about this is that they, in theory, have all the data from the original purchase because they're collecting not only pre-loved, like gently worn items, but they're also taking into account returns that have come in, open box product that's come in, and they're putting this on this ReJD marketplace, which they're doing in conjunction with Arrive Recommerce, which is a platform Rochelle Snyder we've talked to several times. I believe in that platform, and I think what they're ultimately trying to do is, yes, get product back into circulation faster so it doesn't end up in landfills. However, Chris, there's a big but here for me.
A big butt.
A
There's
big
always a
but.
butt, and there's
There
always a butt.
is. Bloomberg recently reported that sites like ThredUp, Depop, and RealReal are having a really hard time right now being profitable because they still have to hold on to product. And that's what I am concerned about here with this JD, ReJD platform. Because yes, you can authenticate it quickly because you know it came from you. You can have it cleaned and put out back into circulation. But how much money are you really going to still make on that product? That's the big question here for me because I think that when you see sites that are doing this, when it's just peer to peer, there's no, pulling product back in and somebody having to own and manage that. I think that's where you stand to be most profitable. So I'm a little
Right.
surprised that JD didn't go that route, especially with such adored brands that they have in their stable, like Nike, like New Balance, and others. But where do you land on the whole JD like resale this ReJD
Yeah.
site?
I mean, I don't have a lot to add. I think what the point you're bringing up is really interesting to me is right. And you're right. Cause like even those companies are struggling, even the peer-to-peer sites are, apparently struggling. And
Right.
so like, and so I do struggle with how anyone makes money doing this in the long run. Like it just seems like a really hard thing to make money when you're shipping, shoes back and forth multiple times or holding inventory for that. So like, I don't know. But I think with that said, the one point I take from this story is JD Sports is clearly going for it. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
we've had multiple headlines where we've talked about them this year, which before I don't even think JD Sports was in the lexicon of American retail all that much. But they're making headline after headline and taking some pretty unique approaches in the marketplace. Like we had them on talking about video commerce and everything they're doing there.
Yep.
Now the question is, are they have to be careful they don't get too far out in front of things and keep their eye on the ball operationally in terms of the day to day. But we've talked to Ariane Parisi, their head of digital commerce there, and she's on top of her stuff. She gets it, and so like I think they're just I think they're a retailer to watch here in the U.S. because they could be on an upswing. They're just doing some really creative things, and they're entering a space that honestly, needs somebody to kind of come in and be like, "Hey, we're gonna do this
Yes.
differently. We're gonna do it better." And so I applaud them for that.